Previously on the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror.
Now listen to me. You will do everything I tell you to do. When you hear this sound, your mind will make you live scenes that you think are real. You will slowly be possessed by madness. You'll think you've committed terrible crimes. But I'll be the one who kills and wreaks the horror, just like you do in your films. I'll create an evil being who everyone will think is you, a mad, bloodthirsty monster.
Hello everybody! Yo! This is me, I'm Zankoku. Welcome to the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror. Lives again! Lives again! Okay, I'm going to do something really quick. Just a little quick, almost, yep, another throwaway video you could say. It's like, but I've had a long day. It was a freaking long day. I woke up early, had to work all day, and then afterwards had a birthday party I went to. It was a great party. Had some good food. And I'm going to talk to you about a little thing about how I got into the, I don't know how you call it, obscure, but I got into this type of collection. So it basically starts off in the mid-90s. Mid-90s, heading to my last couple of years of high school and before getting to college. So the mid-90s, late 90s, early 2000s, started getting into anime. And, you know, honestly, I've liked anime for a long time, even before that, you know, Robotech and Voltron. Of course, you didn't know that it was Japanese, you just, you know, it was Saturday morning cartoons, and you liked, you know, you liked the storylines, you liked the animation, you liked the character designs, all that stuff. You just didn't know until later that, hell yeah, that stuff was from Japan. So, and because of it, was getting into not only anime but also Japanese import video games, because there was supposedly, you know, there's like these video games that you hear about that are never going to get to America, and they're so awesome, you got to play them and stuff like that. So, you know, I started looking for Japanese video games. It was this weird time where, you know, all of a sudden this Asian culture thing was starting to kind of boom, and it was, you know, really early, and you started to see it in video stores. They'd have like a Japanese animation section all of a sudden, but some of the rental places that have import video games that you could rent and things like that. So it was really an interesting time, because you're starting to get exposed to that stuff, and because of it, there was interest in other media besides the games and anime, and a lot of it was like horror movies, because, you know, the Japanese and of course like the Chinese, Hong Kong wise, were making some pretty hardcore horror movies. And so around those times I started going to the Motor City Comic Cons. You know, going there first, you got your first exposure to the gray market. There were a lot of movies and television shows that were made by now defunct companies. No one knew like who really owned the copyright, you know, if one studio or another had any rights to it. You know, of course they'd go to these conventions, and there'd be all these VHS tapes of stuff that you know, like old television shows, stuff from Hong Kong and Japan, all this crazy stuff. Stuff you got like you know, old Italian 70s giallo slasher films, old out of print movies. And so, you know, they called it gray market because, you know, you didn't know, because there wasn't like, it wasn't stuff that you could just go to your local retailer and buy, or the local video store and buy. And there was no real like online marketplace set up that, you know, studios, you could just buy the stuff from them. So it's stuff that you really couldn't. get from legitimate sources. And so, that's kind of creates that gray area. It's like, who are you defrauding if no one's actually making this stuff? I got kind of exposed to all this new stuff. It was just like a whole new world. Some of it was crazy, some of it was funny, some of it was downright dumb. A lot of it was crap, but there was a lot of good stuff coming out too. And so you were basically, given like this sort of all-you-can-eat buffet. And especially when torrents first came out, you had all this exposure to all this media that you couldn't get anywhere else. And so that's where, I got exposed to the Japanese horror movies. And the horror movies were just crazy and awesome. And so I would download these, I would watch them, it would be so awesome. Like, why isn't anyone, putting these out? And when DVD kind of took hold, and I guess it was a lot cheaper in the long run than it was with VHS, you started seeing releasing companies like Anchor Bay and Blue Underground and Shriek Show, Media Blasters, all these Synapse, all these companies. We can make lots of money because there's a lot of people out there who are looking for stuff like this, and they're starting to bring them out. And they're honestly, I think they had a lot of people who worked those divisions who were fans, kind of like me and kind of like the other people, who really cared about this stuff, which means, they did good jobs of making sure that they got uncut and they got, the best transfers possible and all this awesome stuff. And you started to get, all of a sudden you start seeing, Dario Argento's Opera and Deep Red, and you're like, oh my God, it's on DVD, and you snatch that up. Every time I go to the comic convention after the whole, internet thing happened, I'd have a list in hand of like the Asian movies, the foreign movies that I wanted to grab from the booths on DVD. And it's like Battle Royale. Oh yeah, oh there's The Ring. Yes. Oh man, Ju-On, grab that. Oh, Dark Water. Blah. And then you start seeing things that you didn't necessarily hear about, like Attack the Gas Station. You see that and you're like, okay, let's give it a shot. Things like that. Breaking news. And it was a really awesome and exciting time. And what was happening was like these movies just seemed to take risks that the America media wasn't really taking, and the violence was more graphic. There was more sex. There was more nudity. There was more insanity. There was just things you would not have even dreamed of seeing. You see out there, and it was crazy, and it shocked you, and it was like watching a train wreck, but you just couldn't take your eyes off it, and you just wanted to go. You wanted more. You wanted to see what more are they going to do? What are they going to do next? What's the next level? And so because of all that, because of what was happening, I started picking up a lot of the Asian horror movies that were going to come out, back before Best Buy basically fell apart. Best Buy used to be so awesome because they had such a large selection of DVDs, and they had a horror section, and they had Asian releases, and they had the classic horror movies coming out, being re-released on DVD, remastered, special editions, and all this stuff. And it was really, really cool. But now I'm almost saying we're heading back into that sort of weird phase again, because there isn't anything like that anymore. You don't have Best Buy having all this huge catalog. I mean, honestly, you have to basically shop online. You have to look for the niche companies and browse their catalogs. But even going that, going back to the conventions, there isn't that, there used to be like 3 or 4 different booths that have videos. Now it's just one. I mean, it's still an awesome booth, but I kind of missed those days because it was exciting and there was so much new stuff that I could go out and get. And plus, back then I didn't have like a house and a mortgage and didn't have to worry about a lot of things. So I had a lot more disposable income to like drop on that stuff. So I don't know. So I just wanted to share why things got to where they are with me, and what led to me, getting these type of movies. Why I'm here doing this, because honestly, it's like going back to those old internet forum days where you just talk about these movies and hope that you spread the word, and someone goes, I never knew that existed, and now I saw it and it was awesome and it was great. So there you go. My light died. It's all dark and scary over here all of a sudden. So there you go. I just wanted to tell you why I started the collection, why I like to talk about it, why I want to talk about the stuff in there, so that people will get exposed to things that I think are cool. So also, if you took a shot every time I said in this, you probably are going to get drunk and you're dead now. So I'm sorry for your death. Darkness. I'm just really crazy about that. Okay, so what do we got? We got our two things at the end of the video here. We've got my review of Cat in the Brain. Cat in the Brain. Cool movie. Violence. Gore. Lots of nudity. Lucio Fulci. Mwah. And here's going to be episode 14, whatever that's going to be. It's probably going to be a review. It's probably going to be a review. I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe it's going to be the review of the movie H. Korean movie. Not a blood splatter gore fest like the other stuff. Maybe I'm going to take a break from that for a moment, but whatever. Maybe it's going to be that movie. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Anyways, you guys stay safe and scary, Internet.